Very much. This week on the show, I visit the winning schools in our Spread the Net Student Challenge, raising funds to fight malaria in Africa. Kids using their time and effort to help others. To which I say, is it any wonder the malls are dying? All that and so much more, but first, please, take a look at this. Since we began the Spread the Net Student Challenge, students in this country have raised $2 million for anti-malaria bed nets in Africa. $10 buys a net and saves a life. And if that's the case, that's a lot of lives saved. You're about to meet 4 incredible schools filled with amazing students. But we're starting here in Windsor, Ontario, home to our high school winner. Welcome to Holy Names High School.
Let's give a warm welcome to the one and only Mercer.
First of all, I want to congratulate you. You raised more money for Spread the Net than any other high school in all of Canada. When they tell the story of how this deadly, deadly disease was eradicated, they will tell the story that Canadian students bought the bed nets. And when they tell that story, they're going to say in 2018, Holy Names raised a lot of money, bought a lot of bed nets, saved a lot of lives. Thank you.
Spread the net.
This is Gabriella. This is Angela, two of the organizers of Spread the Net at Holy Names. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Congratulations. You raised a pile of money in a very short period of time.
Both of us didn't know much about malaria before we took on this campaign. So for us, like seeing how many people were affected by it in Africa and like the age being under 5, like the leading cause of death in kids under 5 in Africa, like that really made us passionate about it because we're so fortunate here in Canada and we wanted to make a difference in the lives of people who don't have very much.
Well, I always thought that it resonated with Canadians because we all hate mosquitoes.
Spread the net.
The net, spread the net.
Welcome to Dalhousie University in Halifax, Nova Scotia. There's a lot of history at this university. They just turned 200 years old this year, so they definitely remember when there was malaria in Canada. And this show has a lot of history with Dalhousie. Dal was the first university to win the Student Challenge 11 years ago, and this year they have done it again.
Spread the net.
And this is Richard Florzone. He's not a varsity athlete. He's the president of Dalhousie University. Richard, how are you?
Rick, it's great to be here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. You must be very proud of Dalhousie. Every single year, they have taken part in the Spread the Net Challenge.
Well, we've got students who are not just interested in academics, but they're really interested in helping the community.
What's going on here? Now, I didn't expect this. I knew that there were going to be varsity athletes. The Tigers were going to be in the gym, but there's all these small kids.
Look, a great university isn't just about academics, it's about the community. So we run camps during the summer, but also during March break. And this is an example of our basketball camp.
Have you watched these guys play?
Oh, yeah.
Are they any good?
Yeah.
You're the ball boy? And that's better than like when you're in grade 6 and your gym teacher is teaching you how to play basketball.
That's more of a general.
He doesn't know anything. Whereas you guys, look at you. And you got the ink and the beard, right?
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all for show. It's all for show.
It's all for show.
All that matters is what happens on the court. That's
It's
it.
a good show.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you can dunk the ball, but that's a pretty stupid question, isn't it? This year's honorable mention in the Spread the Net Student Challenge is Kincardine District Secondary School, and you're about to see why. Located on the shores of Lake Huron, they're a small school with a big heart on a great lake. When I heard that you were serving Indian food in Canada to buy bed nets for Africa, I thought there's nothing more Canadian than that. Talk to me about the school. It's not a big school.
Oh yeah, it's not.
No, how many students?
We have about 450, I believe, maybe less than that.
And that's from like grade
9 to 12, yeah.
So why did you want to be involved in fundraising?
It's just something that interests me, and I really like to help people, as cliche as that sounds.
No, that's not cliche.
And yeah, fundraising is a great way to help other people.
What are your marks like?
Oh, don't even ask.
Really? Are they ridiculous?
They're so good.
So good.
So
Are you
good.
proud of her for that? That's amazing.
I'm jealous.
So proud of her. Well, she probably works nonstop. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're just naturally gifted.
Probably a bit of both.
Spread the net.
Okay, we got a big bake sale going on. Why are we doing a bake sale today?
We're raising money for bed nets.
Yeah, for Spread the Net.
Yeah.
You would like to save 2 lives, you get whatever you want for 20 bucks. I can keep the change.
Yeah, you can keep the change.
He's a nice young man. You see that? That's the kind of fellow you want to know. 10 bucks. Give me the 10 bucks. You just saved a life. I'm going to improve the rest of your high school career, okay? Now go over there to those ladies behind you and just say, snickerdoodle ladies. Snickerdoodle ladies. Yeah, snickerdoodle ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go. Okay, good. Good man. You're saving lives. And you didn't even eat a snickerdoodle yourself? He'll buy you a snickerdoodle.
We just saved 10 lives.
We just saved 10 lives, thanks to sugar. That's great. Good work, ladies.
This is Grade 10 Science.
Hello, Grade 10 Science. Were you surprised when this school, knowing the students, when this school won honorable mention in the Spread the Net?
No, not at all.
Why not? You say
Not at
that
all.
no with such conviction.
No, they are an amazing group of students.
How?
They are committed.
To what? To changing the world?
Yes,
That
they are
is
very committed.
better than the crowd I went to school with, I tell you. What are they doing today?
They are using the scientific method to create confetti launchers.
Can I look through this book?
Oh, yeah. That's,
Anything else in there?
No, no.
Wow, it's a voyage of discovery right there. How far into the school year are you?
What is it?
How long have you had this? The entire year?
Probably like 3 years.
3 years, but look, doesn't matter though. Someday this could be hanging in a very important room. Spread the net. 3, 2, 1, boom! Spread the net, gentlemen, spread the net. The future is bright with scientific minds like this young man.
Spread the net. Spread the net.
Trade disputes between Alberta and British Columbia continue. In anticipation of the next trade spat, the government of Alberta has pledged Alberta will never again be without their favorite beverage.
We drove to Banff last week. Never get tired of that view. Alberta at its best.
Well, speaking of Alberta at its best, I was saving the good stuff for a special occasion.
Oh, that is really quite pungent.
I believe they say punjunt.
Australian, Chilean.
Albertan, actually, from Trade Spat Vineyards. You want to lean back. You really want to give it room to breathe.
I didn't even know we had vineyards.
Oh, yeah, they're up north, way up north, past Fort Mac. Brand new.
Like with grapes?
That's pretty dense. Oh, well, it really coats the glass.
Now, you want to breathe this in. You really want to smell the bouquet.
Oh, is that what that is?
No, careful. Not too close to the open flame.
I have a slight headache. I think I may be going blind in my left eye. It's...
To Trade Spat Vineyards.
Trade Spat Vineyards. Rich, earthy, refined.
Is the cheese supposed to be bubbling on its own like that? I'm gonna go. That was fun. Yep.
Over 50 schools dug deep and took part in the Spread the Net Student Challenge this year, but only one of those schools could come out at the very top, and that's why I am here in Georgetown, Ontario, home to the school that raised more money than anyone else. That would be Stewarttown Middle School. And they raised their money with no gimmicks, no flash. They did it the old-fashioned way, wrapping their teachers in toilet paper.
Put your hands together for Rick Mercer!
Since the year 2000, the number of kids catching malaria has dropped by 58%. Right? That's amazing. There are some small schools with very big hearts, and you're the smallest school with the biggest heart in all of Canada. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. There. See? Street. Hello. Hi, how are you?
This is Social Studies, class 61.
Okay, 61. What does that mean? Is that a grade?
It's grade 6.
Okay, social studies.
And we're number 1, so 61.
Okay, gotcha.
This is a sign for Prime Minister.
You're going to run for Prime Minister?
Yeah, for the school.
For the school, yeah. Okay, not Canada. At least not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, exactly. In 2019.
Yeah.
So, when is that?
Grade 8 for me.
And you're in grade?
6.
So you're in grade 6, you're already campaigning?
Yeah.
A 2-year campaign?
Yeah.
Would you vote for me, Rick? Listen, I've voted for worse, let me tell you. I find this very impressive. Your goal was to raise how much?
$10,000.
And how much did you raise?
$27,100.
Talk to me about the mummy rap.
Ooh, that was fun.
What was it?
You got a certain amount of toilet paper rolls for the amount of money that you raised in your class.
Yeah.
And then they got to mummify their teacher, so wrap them in toilet paper.
It's great to humiliate teachers.
Oh, yeah.
For charity, because they can't really say no. This is why there's no toilet tissue in the boys' washroom. It's true, you can feel the cottony softness. Spread the net.
Spread the net.
Spread the net.
Spread the net! Spread the net!
Come on, spread the net, plow the field, whatever it is you're doing.
I'm not ready to go.
Spread the net.
Spread the net.
One more winter storm.
Darling, it's spring and I love you so terribly.
And I love you too, my dearest one.
And though blossoms abound in my heart,
Do they?
it is Canada.
Yes.
And though we love each other so very desperately,
So desperately.
there will be
one more winter storm.
Oh no, I've taken the snow tires off the car.
That's because you're too damn trusting.
I wanted to believe.
I know, my little gumdrop. I know.
One more winter storm.
When shall spring come?
This week, next week, never.
How positively dreadful. Hold me.
No, I must go.
I see the shovel in your hand.
Yes, Pickle, I'm ready for whatever amount of snowfall may come.
I was too eager for the spring.
Never lose that. My maple dip donut.
One more winter storm. You know it's coming on CBC.
Visiting the schools in the Spread the Net Student Challenge is always the highlight of my year. Trust me, if you are remotely pessimistic about anything at all, that is the cure. Just try to remain a glass half empty guy when you roll into a town like Peterborough, Ontario. You meet a young woman in grade 11 who donated her entire paycheck from Red Lobster to Spread the Net. Or if you want to feel good about the future or the next generation, consider this. Last year, the school that raised more money than any other school in Canada was in Fort McMurray, Alberta. You could still smell the smoke from the wildfires in the air. Less than 1 year after every kid in that school was evacuated from their town, their homes, their beds, they were back. They were raising money so kids on the other side of the planet could sleep safely at night. I look forward to these back-to-school visits the same way some people look forward to a vacation down south. A great place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. Because let's face it, school is hard. I don't mean math class hard, I mean figuring out the world hard. And students today, they've got to deal with stuff we didn't even imagine possible. And yet, they not only survive, they thrive. And they do it with compassion, and they do it with tolerance. Look, I can only speak about my generation, but this crowd, compared to us, they're not only smarter than we were, they're nicer too. The media will always tell us that kids today are entitled. On that point, I will agree. They are entitled to a better country and a better world. And from what I've seen, this generation, they're going to make that happen.
So you've quit Facebook, but now how will you keep in touch with your friends? At Canada Post, we knew you'd be back. We're the only social media platform that gets you out of the house. No targeted ads, just a random mixture of pizza flyers and coupon packs. Because we have no algorithms to invade your privacy. Sure, we read your postcards, but only because we're genuinely happy Alice is having a nice time in Sedona. You can still share a photo, just print it out, mail it. Within a week or two, you may receive a comment. Come on, Canada, post your post. Canada Post. When technology starts going backwards, we'll be there.